This is Tikisha Michelle with Education Inside Out, and I am here today with 4 educators who have been teaching for quite some time now. They've taught various grade levels, and today we're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to the hearts of many educators, I'm sure, and we're going to get started with the topics, and then we're going to let these ladies share their thoughts and feelings. Now, ladies, as educators, I'm sure you've heard several times that there's so many things going on in the world, but we've got to get these children ready. We've got to prepare them for a test for the next grade level. But remember, you may not have the support of parents, but it's got to get done. How does that make you feel, or what are your thoughts on having the responsibility to raise and educate children 6 hours every day for approximately 200 days of the school year? How does that make you feel? And then you can even talk on how do you feel about when parents are actively involved and when parents are not actively involved in their child's education. And something that even goes along with that would be your feelings on the load that educators carry in the run of a school year. All of the different information that's required to be taught to children who may or may not be ready to receive it for various reasons. I know there was a lot of things, so pick one thing you want to get started with. How about we start with teaching children 6 hours a day, sometimes with or without parental support. What are your thoughts on that? Who'd like to start?
I think it's understood that that's part of a teacher's job. I mean, we see these kids more than their parents do. Even as a working mom, when my children were younger, I understood that my kids were with those teachers more than they were with me. And you just accept that, and you understand that part of being a teacher is teaching life skills and how to interact with others and manners. That's just part of it. That's part of teaching. You're with these children. You're modeling behavior that you want them to have once they go out in the community.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have any thoughts on teaching and raising children throughout the day, all the information that needs to be shared, with or without the assistance of parents?
Well, they look up to us, so it's our job to be these role models, like Lori said. And also, even though we are only with them for 200 days, when they leave for the summer, we want them to remember what they learned in our class, because if they don't, then what we did wasn't worth it.
Thank you. Anyone else have any more
That
thoughts?
goes along with the other question that you asked about the different roles that we take on as teachers. You know, you enter the profession thinking, okay, I'm going to be teaching these kids and helping them to lead the future generations, but really, we're teachers, we're nurses, we're therapists, we are mom and dad, and so much more. We're cooks, we're everything, you know. We are everything to these kids, and like she said earlier, they turn to us for all the problems that they have because they're with us so often during the day. And it's part of our responsibility to help our kids to adjust, not just academically, but with all aspects of their life.
Along as you transition over to parent involvement, having parents, not having parents, you know, we always appreciate any support we get from parents. And sometimes the best support they can give us is not necessarily what takes place in our classrooms, but what takes place at home as far as reinforcing what we're teaching in a classroom. And we are so appreciative of parents that are able to do that in the evenings to reinforce what their child learned and set high expectations for their success. And probably our biggest concern is when we don't have that parent reinforcement of concepts once they get home.
I tell my parents when I meet with them that they help me to run my classroom. So the more they're involved, the smoother my class can run. It's the back and forth communication that's very important to me.
And let's be honest, sometimes parent involvement cannot be helpful at all. Some parents want to run the class instead of helping you. And it can be difficult at times to try to communicate with the parents that they are here to help you, not tell you how to teach, because it is our job and they are there to help us. Sometimes it's difficult.
I agree.
All right, ladies, that was some very, very helpful information. I believe there will be several parents who'll be interested to hear, parents and educators as well, to hear some of the information that you all have shared, and you've enlightened several people, I'm sure. Does anyone else have any other information that you'd like to share as it relates to assisting parents about the load how about the load that teachers carry in the run of a school year? Would you consider that to be a lot more than, I don't know, necessary, or just a lot that has to be endured in the run of a school year?
I think a lot of people think that teachers work from 8 to 2:30 and they get off and they go home and they're off for the summer, they're off for a Christmas break, and they think, well, you never work. The teacher's job does not end when they leave out the classroom. Teachers work at home, they work at nighttime, they work early in the morning before they get here. The load is heavy, but that's the price you pay when you have other people's lives in your hands. If you want the kids to be successful, you just work hard. I guess I don't look at it as a strenuous job. You know, I want them to be successful, so I work hard to ensure that they're successful. My payment is to see the kids later after they leave my class being successful.
Wonderful. That's a very good testament. I like that.
And I don't think what we teach, we do teach a lot, and I think all of it is very useful, and they all need it. I mean, we have these tests at the end of the year, and we have to teach all of this information before we get to the test. So even though it might be a lot, it's what they need to be able to succeed and go on to the rest of the grades.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are opposed to assessing knowledge.
Okay.
And I don't think any of us are opposed to accountability. I think sometimes it's not what we're asked to teach, it's the other things outside of the classroom that sometimes become overwhelming. You know, that a teacher is just not responsible for the academics and the social well-being of the child. Often there's other school responsibilities we have to participate in. And paperwork load in the years I've been teaching has quadrupled.
Wow.
What we have to do paperwork-wise is so much more than it ever was. You know, and that's where I get bogged down a little bit. Not so much with the lesson plans or the instruction or doing anything that I have to do in order for my students and my team to be successful. It's the other stuff.
The extra stuff.
Okay. So teachers are not just teachers, they're parents, as you say, counselors, therapists, and secretaries.
Yeah.
Sounds like, and your own secretary as well, it sounds like. So you don't always have
secretaries too.
secretaries for children, secretaries for parents, secretaries for yourselves. So you're your own assistant, huh?
Right. We have many roles, we will say.
Okay, all right. So that's some good information. So parents, as you're going throughout a school year, as you're considering what's happening in the class of your children, consider all of the different things that your child's teacher goes through in the run of a day, in the run of a week, in the run of a school year. It's not always the easiest, but sounds like it's a very rewarding and a joyful time that teachers have as they educate your children. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I appreciate all your thoughts and all of the information that you've shared with us today. If you all will, please make sure you take the time to share this video with others and let them know how wonderful a teacher and educator is in the life of your child. This is Tikisha Michelle with Education Inside Out. You all have a great day.